You want a way to display your digital photos so they're not locked behind your phone screen or on an SD card. And a digital picture frame is a great way to do that. You've heard a lot about Aura frames, but do they live up to the hype? I'm Wanderer 001. Let's get into it. A quick interjection before the review actually starts. I neglected to change some lighting settings on my camera, so you're going to see wavy lines on some things. It is not actually visible when you're staring at it. It was just a setting I had on my camera and is only visible on some pictures during the review. It depends on the lighting. So just an FYI, it's not the frame itself, it's my poor videography skills. While in particular, I will be talking about the Aura Carver Mat, a lot of what I'm going to discuss will be for the Aura digital frame platform itself. Starting off, the Carver Mat does have several different color options for the frame itself. The mat is actually this white piece here. Make it look like it has a trim around your digital photo. There is another that brings it all the way in with the color. So it's a personal preference as for styling. The general specifications for this photo frame are 10.5 inches long, 7.3 inches tall, and has a depth of 2.1 inches. And I'll show you the depth once we walk around to the back of this digital frame. At the front here, you might not be able to see it, but in this upper left-hand corner, there actually is a light sensor because the digital photo frame can adjust itself based on the amount of ambient light in your room. That also means that it can turn itself off when the room is completely dark, which is a great feature to have, especially if you have this in a location where you don't necessarily want to have something bright staring at you in the middle of the night. The picture dimension itself is 10.1 inches and has a aspect ratio of 1280 by 800 with a 150 PPI. That's going to give you a very sharp, clean looking picture, even though this is digital. I'm not going to say it's going to be an exact duplication for physical prints, but this is very, very good. And for most people, pictures that you're taking from your smartphone, even up to a digital SLR, will look very good on this picture frame with that screen resolution and PPI. The frame itself can only display pictures in a landscape mode. That means you're not going to get this up into portrait mode. That also means if you have portrait pictures, you're either going to have it kind of centered off in the middle or you'll have two side by side. So you're not going to take full advantage of the screen and it will shrink those portrait pictures down so that they fit within the photo frame. The viewing angle on the frame itself has been very good, whether I'm looking at it from the side, from the front, from up top, even in different lighting situations, I can normally see everything that's on the screen with no problems. It is a glossy screen, so it's not a matte screen. So you do get a little reflection if this is in close proximity to direct light. This is also not a touch screen. I mentioned that I've tested everything on here from photos from my digital SLR, as you can see here, points if you know where this is, to things that I took from my older camera. I can even tell the cameras that I took things on based on the picture quality. Let me show you. This is a picture I took on my smartphone. This is a picture I took on an old point and shoot camera. This is another smartphone picture. And this is a very old school point and shoot camera. And back to the smartphone. This photo frame can also support small video clips and has a speaker for sound. Let me show you what that looks like.
Okay, just chilling.
The great thing about those videos is, one, they don't autoplay sound unless you touch the top. So you get to see a little movement on your screen, but not have to hear things, especially if you have this photo frame like I do close to your workstation and people might hear that. The screen itself is not actually a touch screen. You don't navigate by touching the screen at all. That's all done from the top of the device. There is a bar across the top there, and this is going to act as your navigation, swiping left to right, left and right, as you see there. You also get extra functionality on the top. If I tap once, it's going to bring up when this picture was taken and who the person is that added it. If the person allows for metadata, it may show the location that it was taken as well, but I have that turned off on all of my cameras. The other thing that we can do is if we long press and hold, you get an options menu. We can close the options menu simply by quick tapping again. We can come over and select exclude this photo, meaning it will still live in Aura's cloud, but it won't show up on your frame unless you want to bring that to the forefront again in the future. And then finally over here, we have off. This will be a way that you can power off your frame without having to wait for it to go into the standby mode when the lights dim. The other thing that the bar at the top can do is if I quick tap it, you see a little heart, and I can really spam the hearts. If you're using this in a shared environment, this will send a message to the person on the other side that you liked the photo that they sent to your photo frame, which is a nice interactive feature. So realistically, you're almost like making your own social network with an Aura frame, which is kind of a cool concept. On the back of the frame itself, you can see right here, this is your speaker, and then this is your proprietary DC port powering this, and here is your cable. It is a braided cable, which is interesting. It's something that you see generally on kind of like higher end gaming mice and things of that nature. The cable itself is 6 feet in length, so it's going to give you enough wiggle room to place this where you might like. And you might notice that the plug itself, as you can see me moving it around, while it's a proprietary DC port, it shifts around, making it easier to move the photo frame around. You may also notice that when I turn this to the side, there are no actual stands. Everything is built into this frame. So right out of the box, you could just plop it down and get right to adding photos, which is nice. And it's one of the things I kind of wondered about. It also has a nice viewing angle based on the side profile there. Taking a quick look at the underside here, you can see that there are some rubber feet to help keep this in place. That's going to help it from moving around. This digital photo frame uses 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. That's because that is how you're going to get your pictures onto this photo frame. It's going to talk to the internet and pull that down to the frame. That also means that there is no SD card on here. Everything is saved to Aura's cloud, and currently that is unlimited storage space of your photos and videos. After you take your photo frame out of its box, what's next? Well, that's going to be setup. How easy is it to set up something like this? What I will say is it's actually pretty simple and can be set up in one of two ways, either for your own usage or for usage as a gift. In fact, I purchased this frame for myself to liven up my workspace a few months ago and liked it so much, I actually got one as a gift for my parents. And I'll show you the setup process for both of those. This will be set up for the Aura Carver frame here. You are going to have to set yourself up with an account in their application. You can do this online via website if you want. You have two choices, and we're just going to do for me. First things first, you have to plug it in and power it on. I already have the power cord plugged in, so we will power that on. Might be a little difficult to see. There's a little circle kind of moving. We'll move that back a little bit. You can see it got a little brighter, and it is telling you to put it where you want it, but obviously for setup purposes, this isn't going to be where I want it. This is just where I have it for the time being. And we're going to let that finish, I'm assuming, booting up. So we'll give that a moment. Once it's fully powered, I will click this button here. All right, so there is a code now on the frame, and I had to turn on my Bluetooth on the phone in order to pair it. So what we're doing now is confirming that the two numbers are the same, which they are, and now it wants me to connect it to Wi-Fi, which I will throw that into my IoT network and continue to cover up that code that's on the frame itself. I'll give this a moment to actually connect the frame. Oh, there, the number has moved as it tries to connect to my Wi-Fi. All right, there we go. It's checking for updates. And now it's asking it again. Was this frame a gift? I received a claim code, invite the gift giver, or skip, or do this later. So the big thing with Aura frames is you can have people kind of jump in on this with you. Add photos. For now, I'm going to skip because, well, this is my frame. So we can add photos or do maybe later. If I do an add photo, you need access to my photos. So I'll have to say allow. Unlimited photo storage, and then it's got smart suggestions, so you can turn that on, and you'll have to allow access. And then this is really just pulling up my on-device photos. So for me right now, this is not going to work out because I'll have to come and do this another way. So I will say maybe later. We'll change that name later, but we'll have it with my name. I'll select next, and then I can add members to this frame. So I'd have to hit plus, and then you can invite them either with email or phone number. And then here's what the frame can do. Unlimited photo storage, slideshows order, slideshow timing, on off, and then touch control at the top. We're going to hit next, and then get notified when people love a photo. You can receive notifications when a photo is added or receive suggestions. So I'm just going to turn that one off for now and then do maybe later. And then here we go. The frame is now set up. Supposedly, we'll find out. There's the important one for me with the Aura frame. I can connect it to my Google Photos because that is where my photos live, as well as on my server. Once I do that, I actually have access to all my old photos, so I can add them this way. Setting a frame up as a gift is really easy. You unpackage it, and then in the corner here, there's a little QR code that you scan that then brings you to this, and you're gonna click here to complete. It's gonna open up the application. So chances are if you're doing this, you already have a frame and that's why you're giving it to somebody else and you have the application already set up. From here, you're going to come over to the toggle menu there and then you're going to select new frame. And then you're going to say it's for somebody else, which will give you choices, which is scanning the code on the back of the box, plugging the frame in, or generating a virtual code. I'm going to select scanning, enable camera, and then we're going to go scan this. Once I've done that, it shows me the serial number for it, and we're going to prepare gift, recipient's name. On the new page, we can gift message and photo, invite family and friends, add photos and albums, and choose Wi-Fi. It suggests doing all of these for best performance, but I'm going to select Wi-Fi. So in my case, I know their Wi-Fi information, and I will have to plug in this frame. So I do have it powered on. So there's a little extra that you have to do, but it's powered on. It's going to look for the frame. It's going to generate a number code and you're going to match it to the frame. In my case, it's correct. And now it's asking me to put in my network credentials for where this is going. Now that the Wi-Fi credentials have been added, you can add a recipient's email address. And I like the fact that we'll not send them anything until the frame connects to their Wi-Fi. And I've done that, and it says I can now unplug the frame and pack it carefully back in the box. I can invite people right here, and it shows myself and then the frame person who hasn't gotten it yet. So by default, I should be okay. You can add photos afterwards. You can come in here and add photos, but I don't have any that I want to add right this second. You can do gift and photo, which will apparently display as soon as the frame hits their Wi-Fi, which is kind of nice. And because I already have an Aura frame, I should be able to, I don't need to send an invite to anybody else, but I should be able to add photos after the fact. So I'm going to select save and exit. So I can come back and edit this at any time. So for these two, I don't need to add while it's on Wi-Fi. I can select add photos right here because it says gift for these people. So I can come back and add photos whenever I want. Perfect. That's how easy it is to set up as a gift for somebody else. Now that we have our photo frame set up, what's next? Well, that's going to be interacting with the frame. How do you send pictures to it? In most cases, you're going to be either uploading them from your smartphone using the Aura app, or there is a web user interface for Aura to send pictures. It's not as well flushed out as the application is. Honestly, I think they don't really want you to use it because all it's going to do is show you your photos, it's going to show you your activity, and then allow you to upload photos. For me personally, I prefer the web user interface for uploading photos that I did not take on my smartphone or have in something like Google Drive or Google Photos or other digital storage place. That's where I would use the web user interface. For everything else, the application is really the way to go. It's not as fully featured as I would like, but if you're looking for simplicity, you're really going to like this. Let me show you. This is the application for Aura frames. No matter what frame you have, this is the app that you will be utilizing. It is more fully featured than their web interface, which is really just meant to upload things to the cloud. This will allow you to not only upload, as you could see here, add photos, but do some other things with the frame itself. First and foremost, you have your activity feed right here. And here you could see I uploaded this video right now. It tells you who did it. And then if I scroll down, here we have date, photos that were added. There's a 3 dot here, which will allow you to remove these photos just like that, which in actuality was a little easier than it should have been. There needed to be another dialog box there, in my opinion, just from a user interface standpoint, because those photos aren't part of my photo frame anymore, which is a shame because I like those. So now I have to go back and add them. Here we could see you have comments as well as send some love, and it will let you know on this particular date the amount of photos that you uploaded. It's not the date that the photos were taken, it was the date that they were uploaded. I can select send some love and then choose an icon, like there we go. So the other person, if they uploaded it, would get notification. I can do a comment if I want to. That's all done through here. If I come down to the very bottom, I select add photo. I can come through my photos on my phone, or I can select other options. So here there's the scan a photo. Here are albums that I currently have on the phone. I linked it up to Google Photos, so I can always go and pull from there. It's not the easiest interface to do when you're digging into Google Photos. So the easiest way is actually if you have the photo on your phone already and just send it up. To the right of the activity, we have photos, and this again is going to be all the photos that you've uploaded. You can see over here, I've uploaded 256 photos. It's not in chronological order. It's in the batch that you upload them in. So here we can select, and if I select something, I can then do next, and then I can include in slideshow, exclude from slideshow, and then remove from frame. These could be part of the frame itself, but I don't necessarily want them showing up on the frame because we're uploading all this stuff to the cloud. We're going to come back to activity because that was my buffer to keep people out that didn't want to be in the video. To the upper right-hand corner, we have this notification bell. And here you can see this picture got some love, meaning somebody tapped a heart icon on the frame itself, and that's where you get a notification of. If I select a photo, it will bring up the photo. I can tap into it, and then from here, we have some options. So I can share this right from here, and your selection methods would come up. I can position. So let's say that this was a landscape. I wanted to make it more horizontal. I have some options to fiddle with. I can change it from portrait to and rotate and then save. I'm not going to do any of that, but the editing things are right there. And then if for whatever reason I wanted to, let's say I have my photo frame right there, I can select show now. And what this will do is force this picture to show up on the photo frame, and we're just going to give that a second so it actually does. There you go. And it forces that picture that I selected to show up on the photo frame. And I also just tapped the heart button for this particular image. So if we come back to the main screen, momentarily that will pop and let me know, hey, somebody liked your photo. Over here on the left, if I select this, it will show me my account information, lots of private information. Not going to show you that. And then frames. So I have my personal frame that's sitting on my work desk. But if I add new frames, I can have other locations. I can have other people's frames. I would simply select their frame, and then I could add pictures to their frame right from this interface if I wanted to. Coming up to the upper right-hand corner, if I select this, this is our settings. From here in the upper right-hand corner are three dots. We have help FAQ, enter gift claim code, or turn into a gift. So if you have a gift or want to turn your frame into a gift, that's how you could do so. Here we have the ability to edit my frame's name. Down here, add members. Simply by selecting this, I can add other people. So I would select the plus sign, and then I would pick their contact information. You have to put in their email address. Notifications, well, I have notifications turned on, but we have frame activity and then smart suggestions. So this will push, hey, these are pictures that we think you'll enjoy. Under slideshow, we have timing. I have it set for every 10 minutes, but you can go as low as 15 seconds or as high as up to 4 hours. Photo order, you have shuffle or you have chronological. So there are dates that your photos were taken, which is part of the metadata, but not always utilized. I can select chronological and then it will go in chronological order. I have it currently on shuffle. It does tend to favor some pictures a little more in this particular setup, but that's how I have it. Here we have photo background. Fill is what you saw when I had the tree picture. It fills it in with color from the picture itself. If you select black, it will just do black borders around a picture when you have it in portrait mode because the frame itself can only display landscape. Next, we have autoplay video. You have on or off. So if you don't want a video automatically playing on you, you turn that off. I will say that the video itself might automatically play. However, the audio will not play unless you tap it. And then here we have photo match. This is kind of some under the hood science that they're doing where they'll try and put pictures together, especially if you have the option for displaying two portrait photos next to each other. What this will do is, hey, the colors are similar, the people are similar. That's generally what I've noticed with it. Here we have device on off. I have it on auto, meaning it will use the light sensor and then turn itself off. We have a schedule. If I set up a schedule, I can set an on time and an off time and then time zone and then select save. We're not going to do that because I like auto. Speaker, well, you've got speaker volume. Anything that you've heard so far has been at this volume. It's actually pretty decent for the size of the speaker and its location. Remote control, well, here we go. I can utilize my smartphone as a remote. I can choose to exclude this photo. I can change its position, and I can change the photo. So right now I just tap this and 2 new photos popped up, which I don't want to show. And I can change the volume and timing of the slideshow. So we're just gonna bring that back in focus. Sorry about that. Told people I'd keep them out of the video, so is what it is. Coming down, we have language, English, German, and French as your written language here, and then your Wi-Fi credentials. You also have email photos to frame. If you select this, it will show you the email address so that people, if they don't have an account but want to send a picture to the frame, that's the email they send it to as an attachment, and it will add it to the frame. And as I mentioned before, right up here, if I select that, well, guess what? I got a heart on that picture because I accidentally touched it while I was showing you how to use things. But that is everything that we can do for the Aura frame using the Aura app. Now that we've seen the application, some things to think about. Power usage might not be something that you're thinking about all that often, but with something that's going to be on all the time, how much power does this frame use? Well, that kind of depends based on the brightness and detail of the photo and time of day. So during the day, depending on, again, the brightness of the photo that I have, the amount of detail that it has, the frame will use between 2.5 and 3.4 watts of power. At night, when it powers down the screen and you don't see anything and it's just hanging out on your Wi-Fi waiting for the sun to come up, it uses 1.3 watts of power. And if you've got a video, even a short little clip like I had, it's going to use 4.8 watts of power when you also include the audio. Now, I really do like this frame and everything that it offers. Like I said, I picked up one for my parents because I liked it so much. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a couple cons that I want you to consider when you're looking at this frame. First being, photos, when you add them to the Aura hosting service, are based on the day that you upload them, not the day the picture was taken. So sorting for things can be a little tricky. Because of that, it also is very easy to duplicate photos that you've put in here. I definitely have a couple shots where I added multiple of the same picture, the exact same picture, because it's not looking at the actual image file itself to tell you if it's a duplicate. It just goes, hey, this is a new one, let me add it. That also means that when you're searching for photos, it could be a little tricky, whether that's on the Aura app or in those third-party hosting services that Aura cooperates with. It's not as seamless as I would like. So realistically for me, if I take a picture with my phone and I like it, I'm going to send it right away instead of archiving it and moving off my phone. I talked about the web user interface and how it's very limited. It also does not allow you to see all of your photos like you can through the application. They kind of limit that because they really don't want you going in there. Aura, right now, allows you to host all of your photos and videos for free. Could that change in the future? Yes, it's a possibility. The frames are a little on the pricier side compared to some of its competitors, but they have to pay for hosting services, and if people are uploading all of their stuff, that could change in the future. That also means that because you're hosting all of your photos on their servers and it communicates to the digital frame itself, if Aura ever went away, picture frame not going to work anymore because it doesn't have that SD card. It's relying completely on the cloud and somebody else hosting these pictures for you. So always have backups of your photos. For myself, this frame has over 200 pictures in it, and like I said, it sits right by my work computer. So I stare at it 8 hours a day. I kind of notice it favors specific pictures. Like this one here, I haven't seen it come up in the month and a half that I've had this, and it does tend to favor pictures with people in it over places, which I kind of understand, but I wish it would kind of let you tinker a little more to say, hey, show this picture that I haven't seen in a while a little more regularly. And right before I was doing this review, I ran into an issue where I could not access the Aura app because it said it was busy. On screen now, you can see what I'm talking about. So I was not able to add more pictures. Was that super bad? No, but it is one of the things that you have to consider with a service that hosts your pictures rather than the pictures living right on the frame itself. Does that mean that this is a horrible digital picture frame? Not at all. Those are just data points that I want you to consider when you're looking at this frame. For myself, this is a very good digital photo frame for those that would like to have new pictures easily added to it from yourself and others of your choosing who share the frame with you. It does make a great gift idea for those looking to share pictures with those that might not be very tech savvy or don't go on social media. Hence the reason I picked one up for my parents. The image quality is very good, all things considered, and has been a welcomed addition to my work from home setup. Because of that, I can highly recommend it. If this sounds like the digital picture frame you've been looking for, I will have a link where you can pick one up for yourself in the description area below. If you appreciate the time and effort that goes into making comprehensive videos like this, make sure to hit that like button to help other people find the video as well. If you like what I'm doing here and want to be notified of my next review, hit that subscribe button. Still not sure if this is the right gift idea for you? On screen now, you'll see 2 other reviews I've done to help you make a more informed decision for yourself.